everybody, to today's episode of the Russell Hobbs Show and the Really Big Picture. Today, I have an old friend. He's a cool guy. He's not old, but I've known him a while.
Yeah.
And he's one of those guys that's into all kinds of different things, many dimensions. Today, we welcome Turner Cavender.
I like the way he said that. It was pretty good. Appreciate you having me on, man. I'm excited about being on this amazing studio you got and talking about what we're going to talk about.
Kind of like wrestling, right? It was kind of the lead into a wrestling match.
Yeah, like announcement.
I don't think I'd want to wrestle you.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't think I want to wrestle at all, period.
Because I know you're a fitness guy. You race motocross. You're at the lake all the time doing really cool outdoor activities. Now, I play soccer on a team.
Yeah?
I run in the sun for 90 minutes. I play soccer. I do some work on the ranch.
I didn't know you were into soccer.
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool.
When I got out of motocross, I had to do something, so I got back into soccer.
Okay.
And it's a lot less bone breaking.
I would say so.
Yes. So it's so good to see you today.
Yes,
and I want to jump right into getting to know the inside, the psyche, and the DNA of Turner Cavender.
All right, man. Let's dive deep. Let's go.
Yeah. So where'd you grow up?
So was born in Dallas, but grew up in DeSoto, Texas, till I was in fifth grade. And when I was in fifth grade, that summer we moved to Mesquite, where my mother met my stepfather, and I went to Mesquite and went to Poteet High School in Mesquite, Texas, and then we moved to Sunnyvale when I was a sophomore in high school, and then my parents still live there, and now today I live on the Heath side of Lake Rehoboth, just on the other side of Sunnyvale, right there on the lake, in my dream home with my amazing wife.
I know, man. You got the nicest place out there, and
Very blessed to be there.
It's a beautiful, smart place to live.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to live in the Metroplex right now, that's a really good option.
It's very convenient. Like, because I lived in Uptown for about 11 and a half years when I was building my fitness business. And it was time for me to get out of the city. I was kind of done with the hustle and bustle and all the drama that was going on during the time when I moved. Because I just moved there 2 years ago to Forney, Heath area. And it's when you live in Uptown, people call it their bubble. I'm sure when Deep Ellum was around, you lived down there, it was your bubble. You didn't go out past 635, So then once I got out there, I got over that whole, drive time. And it's just 25 minutes, 30 minutes max.
So who burst your bubble? How'd you get out?
I exited the fitness industry. I sold my gym. And I was ready to just kind of get out of the city. Me and my wife, we love to network and we love to go out and meet friends. And it got to the point where, we were living in the middle of all of it, and our bar tabs are more than our mortgage. So we wanted to change our lifestyle, travel with our little toy hauler we just got, and just do more things. It's not just redundant and spending and wasting money on your bar tabs when it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I like that.
It was a season I was going through, like a season in my life. I like to explain like that.
Yeah.
We said you've had lots of seasons of your life. I've had lots of seasons in my life. So that was a season in my life, and fun and young. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I two things. I love the line where my bar tab was bigger than my mortgage. And that's, so you grew up, you change your priorities a little bit.
Correct.
And also, I'm always impressed by how you're always on these amazing adventures. You're either on a nice coastal adventure trip with your wife, or you're in the mountains. I mean, you guys really have figured out and a way to just enjoy life together and do so many cool things. And it's great that you have a partner like that.
Yeah, and I believe in the beginning of our relationship, we kind of made like a ground zero rule about our birthdays and holidays and stuff. We're not big in materialistic things unless it's a materialistic thing that's going to help us go on that adventure. Okay. So on our birthdays, we leave the country. We go to another country. We go to a beach. We go do something like this. We just got our brand new little miniature toy hauler for our dirt bikes and motorcycles, because she rides with me. And this Thanksgiving, she asked her parents if it was okay, because we always switch back and forth on Thanksgiving. We're going to go up to the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and camp out with our little puppy golden retriever and us and have an adventure.
I bet that weather will be so nice in November.
Oh no, I'm hoping so. I'm sure it will. I'm so over this Texas heat.
yeah, Texas. So we're jumping ahead. Let's go back a little bit to. So you grew up in sort of Sunnyvale and East Dallas,
I really lived my life in Sunnyvale. Life lessons happen, but I kind of gave you the whole gist.
So where'd you go to high school?
Poteet High School in Mesquite.
Okay, so in Mesquite, I always ask this a kind of a question I've started using over and over. So who's Turner walking down the hall in high school?
In high school.
Tell me about Turner.
All right. So Turner in high school. So today I actually find myself running into people and apologizing for how crazy, wild energy I had. All the time, I was like Tasmanian devil, just wild. Just never got into drugs or alcohol, just clean. All I cared about was riding motocross. That's all I cared about. And I didn't really care about girls. I just rode dirt bikes. And I worked hard. No one in my family knew how to ride motorcycles, work on them, or nothing. So I was kind of self-taught on watching riders and going out there and crashing my brains out. So I figured it out. But in high school, I was just, an alternative dude, and I turned out to be in a popular group for some reason. But I was very blessed to have some fun friends there. But I was just a dirt bike kid, alternative skater kind of look dude. Even though I didn't skate, I just kind of looked like I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you were sort of an extreme sports friendly guy.
Yeah.
And you liked all the different groups and everything. Mm-hmm. So then you, what was your plan then? You went to university somewhere.
Yeah. So after high school, is when I was starting to get heavy. Like my senior year, I was doing really well in 2004 in the motocross industry. And so I took off from going straight to university. So I just went to the community college of Eastfield in Mesquite. For some core classes we need, and kept racing full time until 2007. Then that's when I went off to Texas Tech University.
So let's back up. Now you were with Team Green.
Team Green Kawasaki.
Right. Now that's a pretty huge, for people that don't know, that's a huge national amateur racing program for the up and coming talent to get support, and you get motorcycles and mechanics and everything. So tell us what that was like with being a Team Green.
I mean, I had some amazing support groups. Obviously, my mother and my stepfather were really good supports. I think about this all the time about, the stuff that I had to sit through on the weekends of the heat and the financial burdens they did so I could race a dirt bike. That was really cool. But, when I was able to really take it up a notch is when I had support from Team Green. Richard White at DNS Kawasaki, he introduced me to their team first, and then he helped me get my Kawasaki ride and met some mechanics that were really helpful. And I believe being the person that I am and is open-minded and willing to give and help people set up their pits and campsites and stuff like that, just because I had way too much energy. Two, is just who I am as a person, really projected me to get more sponsors because they felt like I feel like they were indebted to me because I was so helpful, and therefore those sponsorships just came to me because I was just one of those people, I guess. And that really took off my racing career because I was able to get a financial, help with, bikes and parts and mechanics and travel and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Like when companies are looking for someone to endorse their product or sponsor or support, they're not just looking for the raw talent and results. They're also looking for somebody that represents them.
Character.
In a way where it makes the brand have a good vibe and good reputation and everything. So you were this cool, helpful, nice, quality guy that was also racing fast.
Yeah, and
it all came together for you.
Yeah, it was pretty cool how it all happened, and I think back on it sometimes a lot. And I really do think the reason I got the sponsorship is because the things I did in the pits before races started.
So, what was the highest level you achieved racing motocross
then? Won some national championships at Ponca, made Loretta's. Not the best luck there, but just racing, I believe, just was an accomplishment, and not dying.
I'll tell you what, people
I laugh, but it's true.
Yeah, riders risk life and limb to fly 130 feet through the air. to get sometimes a trophy or a little bit of money and pay to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's a grueling sport. A lot of people, probably most people, have seen Supercross on TV.
Yeah.
You know, and outdoor motocross is even way more brutal and demanding, and it's the most fit athletes in the world really, that are competing.
Backed by science. I have all the research to show it. Yeah. Motocross is literally the most physically demanding sport in the world. Ironmans are second.
I thought soccer was second. Used to be.
Ironmans are.
Ironman jumped it, so soccer's probably third because you run 2 45-minute halves in soccer, and it's constant. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's very cool. Now how did you decide to go from racing to Texas Tech?
So in 2007, I was at my last race at Loretta Lynn's, my last full-time race, and before that, my stepfather wanted to, he was asking me, John, he's an amazing father figure to help me, raise me as my mom, and he's like, do you want to keep racing? And I've just been seeing other riders that, kind of get just wash-ups, and I know it's a really harsh term, but, I wanted to be something. I want to do something. I want to be an impact on life. And there's a story of my past that, being born with hearing loss and having no friends as a child and very poor communication skills until I had a speech therapist that helped me through all that. My life passion was to help another person feel good about themselves, whether it was physically or emotionally. And so I hung up my boots and my helmets and went off to school and got a degree in the fitness industry. And that's what I did after school. And we'll get into that obviously in a second. But that's kind of what made me go from motocross to getting an education to help others.
Interesting. So you saw the road to the top in racing a dirt bike is so narrow.
I started when I was like 15, late. People start when they're 4.
That's right.
So a little disadvantage, but I still race today. I just raced this weekend. I do it for fun. I love it. It's my passion. It's who I am. I've never not had a motorcycle.
So you'll go do the pro class, do a couple of classes at a regional race and have an awesome time.
For fun.
Yeah.
Good times. I love it. It's just who I am. And I promise you, if I don't get to ride or race dirt bikes, I get a little crabby.
Well, everybody has to have their release. Like Carl said in Sling Blade. Yeah, we were playing football. I just don't think of nothing else, It's a real healthy thing to have something you can lose yourself in, right?
Exactly.
Whether it's a sport, working out, artistic expression.
Yeah.
So your heart sort of, you looked around and you saw the road to the top in dirt bike racing is narrow and, so many different adjectives we could throw in. And you had compassion for people. And just at that one moment, you decided, I'm going to go to college.
Yeah. At age 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to Tech. What was your degree then? What was your plan?
Exercise sports sciences and a minor in nutrition. And while I was there, I was lucky enough to network my way and be nice to people. And I was able to be a strength conditioning assistant for the football team, basketball team. And I got to work with soccer and the golf team on off seasons. And also, I I guess you would call me a teacher's pet. Really, it was just me trying to learn because I have learning disabilities from the hearing situation. And so I was always with my professor, and my professor was the president of Texas Cardiovascular. And so he got me a position at the hospital, UMC and hospital in Lubbock. And I got to be an exercise physiologist there, monitoring EKGs on outpatients for cardiovascular surgeries. So I had a lot of experiences while I was there, and I learned a lot, and it was really helpful.
Well, that was very wise of you to be teachable and latch on to people that really knew the industry and get in there. Yeah. So yeah, I see you now in modern, present day, and you're like such a great communicator, and you're really sort of a life coach, motivator. You've got your own show, you've got a following, and you're such a great communicator. And I never even knew that you had to overcome this obstacle.
Yeah, I don't use it it's a story to motivate another person to take that positive step forward. Because we all have stories. We all have situations, traumas and stuff, but I don't let it become a crutch. I let it become a motivator. It's always been a motivator for someone to tell me I can't do something. Like hardcore. If someone tells me I can't do it, I will 100% do it in front of their face and smile about it. And it's always with pride. Like when I was in high school, and my parents never saw this, and they still don't believe this, but in high school, I was told by numerous people that I would never go to college. I went to college, I got graduated. And then after that, there was times where, my parents were in the old-fashioned way of work and get a job, a stable job. And that's not my slice of pie. I like to really go above and beyond, and I don't want to go work hour to hour for somebody else's empire, and I want to build my own life. And yeah, there's ups and downs. You experience them. You're an entrepreneur yourself. They were not so supportive in the beginning. They always said, we believe in you, but not supportive in it. And today I'm just happy to say that I was successful doing what I've done with the fitness industry and what I'm doing now in real estate.
Yeah, there's no doubt that everybody that loves you, family and friends, they want you to be happy and safe. And
it came from a good place.
It does, but let's get real, okay? Innovators, pioneers, risk takers, and people that end up with diverse lives of adventure are normally not fitting in those safe pat boxes.
No, you go.
And that's
okay. It was bonkers if you did, I think.
Yeah, I think, like you said, you started off saying you had such high energy in high school, and you've just been a high energy guy. And so you probably wouldn't want to be stuck in a shiny building wearing a shiny suit, right?
No, I wouldn't do well. I'd probably rip my suit in half in 30 minutes.
Okay, so you're at the university, you're learning from the best, and you launched out. Now, I know you became you had a fitness movement going on.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So out of school, I moved to Austin. During the summer while I was in school, I went there to do an internship with a pretty cool facility down there in Austin and got to meet a lot of cool people. And then after college, I moved there and worked at a facility and as a personal trainer. And then just wasn't really working out for me down there, so I moved back to Dallas and started working at a big box gym as a personal trainer. And then that was kind of like me working in a business like that for somebody else, so I hated it. And so I quickly told all my clients I'd be leaving, and they all followed me. And so I went to another facility and rented, and then it got to the point where I was making enough money to rent my own facility. And I risked a lot. I sacrificed a lot. I slept in my truck a lot because I couldn't afford the gas to go back to my parents' house in Sunnyvale. I slept in Katy Trail woods when it was cool enough. I slept in my truck when it was warm, when it was, on days. And I made it happen. I saved enough money to make rent for my gym, and I didn't want to waste my money on lease for my place and selfishness for that. I felt like in my heart, if I'm not trying hard enough, there's somebody else looking at themselves in the mirror sad because I didn't do my job. So that's what was a motivator for me.
So much there. So you took ownership of your client or your patients or your following, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, clients.
You sort of took ownership of their result, like you were living it with them.
Yeah.
The other thing I love from what you just said was, in an entrepreneurial way, and I know the word's thrown around, entrepreneur is a popular word nowadays, but when you have a vision to make something happen, you were willing to sleep, and we'll get into the details of that. That's interesting to me. Down at Katy Trail, because you had, there's that moment where you're like, okay, I got 3 people showing up with an appointment tomorrow. I got my rent on my place or whatever. And if I spend that $40 in gas driving out and being comfortable, then it'll hurt me getting through this week or whatever, right? So you have to get in that plan of like, how am I going to get through this week, this month, and then launch? Because it's always like, if I get this and this and this, then I can get to that other place.
Exactly.
And it'll all kick in,
100%.
Right? And people, non-risk takers, don't really understand that.
Yeah.
It's like water skiing. You got to pull out of the water and get up on it and all that, right? So tell me now, all that. I just said that for the people out there.
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
land.
You nailed it right on.
But here's the deal, though. Tell me about sleeping in the Katy Trail woods. Like, what other creatures did you come across, like in that adventure?
Homeless people, just like me. So
No bears? Okay, go ahead.
No
Hold us
bears.
through.
So the Katy Trail is a fitness trail in Dallas. It's it's an urban trail, and there's some parks that are over there, and there's some wooded areas. And on a very hot night, I would sleep in this one spot, and I showed my wife when we were walking our dog or going exercising where I did that. When there was a nice breeze, I would sleep there because I got caught in the gym in my facility. They wouldn't let me sleep there. So I had to go find somewhere else. And then when it was cool enough, I would sleep in my back seat of my truck. And so, yeah, I just, and then obviously I had friends too. So I couch surfed every once in a while. It wasn't every day.
Yeah. So you were a single guy, and you were just doing whatever it took to show up and be your best.
I didn't care what it took. I wanted to be someone that could change someone else's life. And I can proudly say today that I have helped 43 people lose 100 pounds. And I've helped thousands of pounds be lost.
That's 4,300 pounds.
Yeah.
That's an elevator full.
Yeah. Yeah. I never
That's
thought
an
of it that way.
elevator full of fat.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I never thought about that, but now I'm going to use that. But
Okay.
and I've helped thousands of people lose, 20 pounds or more over the time frame from 2010 to 2020.
So you're the guy, you're a life coach and you're a philosophical guy to some extent, but you're the guy that sticks with them. Or now you're sort of diversified, but back then you were that guy that would stick with somebody and commit to helping them get out of the hole they were in and get
As long as they were committed as much as I was, yeah. I've fired numerous clients because I was putting all my foot forwards, but they weren't putting theirs. They do all the stuff they wanted to do in front of me, but when I wasn't around, I'm only with that person an hour. So after that hour, I don't know what they're doing. But I could see the results not changing, and I knew what I was doing. I know how my job was doing good. So there were times I just said, you know what? We have to part ways because if you're not getting results that reflects on me, that means I'm not doing my job, and I know I'm doing my job.
That's cool. So tell me how that grew then. Your business grew.
Yeah, so I went from renting a facility in Uptown to a point where I outgrew that spot. And then I was lucky enough to know this guy named Russell Hobbs that rented me a facility in the back of a place to run my gym in a super hot warehouse, but it worked. And I was very happy to have that opportunity because that catapulted me up to my next spot. There I had a 4,000 square foot, just under 4,000 square feet facility off of Ross Avenue in Uptown Dallas. And there was points where we were training around 210 people a month.
Wow, that's
and
a lot.
Then in 2018, 19, 18, opened a gym, 15,000 square foot gym in Surprise, Arizona. And then it was doing really well. They had a lot of members there. My sister-in-law was running that facility. My in-laws live over there in Surprise, Arizona. And Corona happened and the government shut my business down. So I was very upset about that I'm still getting over it.
So that brings a lot of the puzzle together.
Yeah.
Because I know that you were the fitness guy. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't even know all this story, but you had a place in Uptown and the overhead was getting you.
Yeah.
And then you rented a garage for me behind the door.
Yeah.
Profit Bar in Deep Elm on Elm Street. The door was there 20 years. Mm-hmm. The Profit Bar was there on Elm for since 1985. And
Great places, man.
All that kind of stuff.
Love it.
But you and I had never really discussed because I'd say, yeah, do whatever you want. You did it. But I don't know. So did that allow you to have less overhead and build up your client base so you could spring back to Uptown? Basically?
Yeah, okay. It helped me a lot. So it was a huge blessing.
Yeah, I never really realized what that happened because you were so busy and I was so busy.
Yeah, we were both just going crazy. It was great. The Uptown one I was renting in the first location. I was renting basically a group fitness room from an active gym. So it was like I only had a certain amount of hours I could do. At the warehouse, I could do whatever I wanted and have as many classes as I wanted. And then I moved to a place where there was AC, which was another big game changer.
Yeah, Deep Ellum is for centuries now has been a a place of opportunity and springboarding people's careers, right?
Sure it did.
But AC is not always a reality.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that worked out. So then you went to Uptown, and so you're saying that your vision all came to pass. You had growth. You were also in Arizona, like franchised or
Yeah,
whatever.
it was just me as the owner.
Yeah,
That's it.
And then this world event happened.
Yeah, sure did.
You know, the global masquerade, the lockdown.
Yeah.
And that got your business then.
Yeah, it really did because, it's silly because, for the situation, the virus that was going around the cooties, it was the first thing that could help you prevent it was fitness. And they shut us down for pretty much an entire year. And with that, there's scarcity. There's people that are scared to go to the gym or touch anything. So then I had people that were obviously hurting for money too, and there was people doing chargebacks, which I know you know what that means.
On your credit card.
Yeah, so they were literally charging back an entire year, and then I have to try to fight it, and they don't let you know when they charge back. They just take it out of your account. So that destroyed us. And so with that being said, I sold the gyms to another facility that was had a little bit more financial backing because my gym was backed by me and only me and my members. And so I exited the program. That was a season of my life that I'm happy I did. But now today, I'm happy I'm done with it. I will say it took me 2 years to get over it, and I can share with you how I got over it because I think it's a really good message for everybody out there.
Yeah, I mean, how'd you deal with losing everything you worked so hard to build up this several gyms?
Yeah.
You had all this money coming in on the credit cards, and then boom. So how'd you recuperate?
So, I mean, I had an amazing wife, so she helped me a lot with financial situations. I always paid her back, but she was there as a support. She's a great woman, and I'm so thankful to have her. But to get through it, I just got to the point where I was literally pulling out of my accounts to pay my staff because I really cared about them because they were making changes in lives. And I felt like I was indebted to my members. So I sold the gym to a member down the road, and they got an upgrade on their membership. It's a really way nicer place. And then from there, I kind of went down the deep end. I was really, I never use this word, but because I don't get depressed. But I finally figured out, I was straight up depressed about it because I risked everything. And through that time, I kind of let myself go. I got fat. I got out of shape. I lost my motivation, my entrepreneurial ways in the morning, my routines, my everything, my exercise programs, which is just not me. I wasn't riding dirt bikes as much, just downhill fall for me. And then me and my wife were just kind of having too much more fun. We sold our place and moved out to Forney because we're spending too much money on bar tabs, and we started a Hard 75. If you ever heard of it, you know what that is?
No.
So the Hard 75 was designed by this man named Andy Frisella. It's a fitness program, but it's I started it more for mental sake. Okay, so the Hard 75 is 75 consecutive days. I just finished Sunday, which is why I got skinny face, and
you did that for the show, right?
yeah, just for the show. It's 2 workouts a day. Each workout has to be 45 minutes each. One of them has to be outside. One of them can be inside. Doesn't matter the situation of what it is outside. We work through it. Gallon of water a day drank, which is why I have this gallon jug right here. And then read 10 pages of self-help. No cheat meals and no alcohol at all. So with that helped me. I got back into my routine. I got back into doing what I love, having a routine and being creative like you. You're a very creative man. That brain, you need those brain juices going, right? And then, obviously with physical, I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of inches, a lot of body fat. Very successful, me and my wife did. And since this past Sunday, I actually feel like I'm completely over the shutdown of the government to my businesses.
So you did this Hard 75 once, You didn't do it back then. This was the time you just now completed it.
I just now got over it, and
That sounds like a really smart program, or a grueling, hard program. 'Cause that's
everything in my
75
life
days
is
a long
hardcore.
time.
Everything in my life that I've done is hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a program like that was very fitting for me.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
Oh, yeah, it's a challenge.
People to do something for 14 days or 21, 28 days is one thing, but 75 days,
I'm going
got
an
a lot of days in there to give up.
Yeah, and I'm going an extra 10 days right now until my wife gets back from Geneva, so we can celebrate the end of it together.
Okay, so you're going 85 days. Well, and I was thinking when you were telling me that, I'm like, okay, you said you lost your motivation, you got chubby, probably still cute when you're chubby, but and here you are. But think about it, everything you'd worked so hard for sleeping in the park for your clients to build a business, and you finally succeeded, and you had all these clinics, and you're a force, and then it's all just blown away by some world event that we won't get into the particulars about what we feel about the world event, but it was out of your circumstances, beyond your control, just knocked you down like a tsunami, right?
Yeah, it was hard. That was one of the hard. What you just said, quote unquote, was one of the biggest reasons why it hurt me so much, and then also the leadership side behind it is I felt that the trainers that were coming through my doors, whether they were training clients inside that facility or outside that facility, I trained them to be really good trainers and leaders, and I felt like I wasn't making an impact on the world that they had an impact on. So when they ripped that from me to be a leader is what really hurt me.
Yeah. So you had to go back into your dungeon of self, and what sparked you to climb out?
I wanted to be a good person, a good husband. It's really what it can boil down to.
So commitment to your wife.
Yes.
And your character of yourself, who you are.
Yes, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
When did you get married?
I got married in 2020. So February 2nd of 2020.
But you knew her before that. How long did you guys know each other?
We've known each other for 7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 years you were courting and dating and writing letters across the sea, and all that.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, pretty much.
That's great. Well, you guys are such a great couple together.
Thank you.
I don't know her well.
Yeah.
But I know everything from social media.
Yeah.
And she just seems amazing. So what's she doing in Geneva?
So she is a private flight attendant on a private jet for a private family.
And we can't say their name.
We cannot.
Okay. Well, that's all right. But it's not Mr. Burns on The Simpsons. Okay, just so y'all know.
That would be cool, though.
But he's private. He's private.
Meet him, though.
He's more private than Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Probably. Okay. So you got a great wife. Now you've done 75 days of this hard.
On day 76 now.
Yeah, and you're still in the middle of that. That's beautiful. So how'd you transition then? Because now you're currently doing, you're doing a show where you motivate people as a life coach, and you're also in real estate.
Yeah, so I'm a real estate agent, and as of yesterday, the Jamodi podcast that I had started in 2017, and as of yesterday, I did my farewell for that podcast, and the reason being is because a business partner and my colleague, Travis Hitt, we're starting a new YouTube and podcast called The Real Estate Leadership. That's, he's a real estate expert, as well as I think I'm educated. I'm learning as we go with experiences, but I do fully believe that I'm a good leader, and I believe that with the two of us on the show and the banter between us is going to be a good show to help the consumer to make an educated decision, and also for the real estate agent to learn from tips and experiences that we have had.
Very good. So you're taking your show and sort of merging it in. You're doing a new show with us.
Yeah, you can still get the leadership and positivity that the Jamodi podcast was all about within this one, but it's a little bit business oriented.
Yeah. So I want to. You've faced a lot of obstacles. I want to talk about like what's your maybe 2 or 3 biggest obstacles in your life and how you've overcome those.
Oh man, I love it when you said I'm gonna put you on the spot before we did this, and I love that you did. I didn't even prep for this. I'm just excited about this. So, the first one, I guess it would be just the hearing loss, right, and just having no friends and no communication and being the oddball out of the group, the different kid. As of today, that's why I'm so nice and giving, is because of the situation, and I believe that is not a crutch, but was a blessing to learn how to be a good person and treat people the way they should be treated.
So you learned a sensitivity there as a young man.
I don't want anyone to ever feel the way I did.
Yeah. So
ever.
did you your hearing, whatever, I don't even know what to call it, your disability or loss.
Yeah, disability.
Did it happen from an event?
No, it happened at birth. Yeah.
Okay, so you knew. So as a young toddler, you were already like that.
Yeah.
And struggling. Mm-hmm. And what age did you sort of did your parents say, hey, what, I got to deal with this?
Yeah, at 6 years old, we got my hearing aids and did all that jazz. So that's when it kind of like changed for me a little bit. I was able to hear things and learn better in school and understand what was happening around me.
Wow. So you were young, all the way to 6, that you didn't really have that much help.
Yeah, I'm really good at lip reading and body language.
Wow.
I can read somebody very easily.
And then, but you were the kid at school with hearing aids.
Mm-hmm.
So they were making fun of you.
Yeah. Well, in preschool, and I went to a normal class, but also went to some other schools too that with, the mentally challenged and rode the short bus and all those things. So I was already labeled as one of those kids, which makes you the uncool kid.
See, I never knew that because I've always known you since you were grown and bigger.
Yeah.
You're always this cool, happening Turner guy.
You met me when I was 15.
Yeah.
16 years old.
Right. Well, you raced dirt bikes at my motocross track.
Yeah.
The first race we ever did, your girlfriend sang the national
anthem.
Yeah. And she sang a cappella. She was beautiful. She had a great voice. And you were the dirt bike guy, and she was the singer of the national anthem. It's all like a movie.
Yeah.
It was
I remember
beautiful.
that.
So what happened to that girl?
She's a hairstylist here in Dallas. I think she's doing well. She has a baby and a husband. She's doing good.
All right.
Yeah, me and my wife, we rode by on our motorcycles in Uptown one time, and she waved at us, and we tried to stop, say hi, and she had called me, and she was just complimenting on how pretty my wife was, and good to see me and stuff
So
like that.
everybody's getting along great.
Yeah.
So no, Turner, that's a huge obstacle. I can't even relate to having to go through, not being able to know what's going on around you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's huge.
It's frustrating, that's for sure.
Yeah. So now you can hear perfectly?
No, I still have a hearing loss. I'm just really good at faking it. And with speech therapists that, I was very lucky to have the opportunity to have that, taught me how to talk with my tongue. And I know it sounds religious, right? Talk through tongue.
Speaking of tongues.
But how I explain it to people to make it a little bit more understandable is it took me about a while to learn how to read, write, enunciate, and speak your language. So everything I hear is mumbles and grumbles, and I translate it through tongue. So if I'm like tired or something like that, I sound hammered drunk because I start getting lazy with my tongue. So I start slurring and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah.
So what's your next biggest obstacle, as if anything, would be really harder than that? That to me seems like, I really respect the fact that how you've overcome and dealt with it and been such a successful, guy with this great life. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
So what's my next big obstacle? Is that your question?
Yeah.
I think my next big obstacle is establishing, I've already established the direction I'm going in my new career in real estate as an agent here in Dallas, Texas. I believe with this new platform with the podcast and the YouTube channel it'll help me get more outreach in the new industry I'm in, and I'm really enjoying it. I really like it a lot. And it kind of reminds me of working on one-on-one with my clients back in the day in the gym. But now it's dealing with the most, most of the time, the biggest purchase they've ever done in their life. So it's still a big deal, right? So it's very emotional at times too. So I really like that, and I want to have a big outreach, and then I want to become my biggest next step. I believe in this industry is leading other realtors, being a leader, because I love doing that.
I love the way, so what you're saying is you've transferred your commitment to people from the workout and fitness perspective to the buying a place where they can live their life.
Yeah, exactly. Or invest home, whatever it is, I like to call it their slice of paradise.
But I will say, I think your other biggest obstacle, though, was losing everything you built in the lockdown. I thought that'd be your second biggest obstacle.
I've already got over it with the hard 75.
Yeah, you did.
I guess that would have been my two in order, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Would have been the second one would have been to get over that depression and hardship of feeling like I just lost everything I worked for. Yeah. And mentally I needed that program I just went through.
Yeah, because I don't think I think your real estate endeavors and your new show and everything, that's all going to just prosper. I just know it will. Yeah. But I think
thank you for saying that.
I'm impressed though by what you went through with building the businesses, and then the powers that be knocked it all down and you had to start over. That's huge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to know, tell me this, because a lot of people don't. First of all, what I really like to drill in on and key in on is a lot of people out there have normal jobs or maybe no job. A lot of people are in the world and they are not able to do what they love doing to make money, or they have to go to a job they don't like to do, or they just don't know what their life's about still. A lot of people are like that. And so they like to look at people like you that have had a dream and overcome, get to the top, and had another adventure happen, or rather business venture, and actually succeed and everything. So to me, it's the core of what makes people not give up, and what makes people motivated, and what makes people find a way, and is really crucial to making living on this earth a beautiful thing or just a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I mean, face it, masses of people are self-medicating with drinking, drugs, TV, whatever, just to kind of get through the day.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, well, not that any of us haven't done it short term, but I'm just saying, there's some people, though, that have this thing that makes them bounce back and jump out there out on a limb and take a risk. So I like digging it out of you, because you got that. And that's what I want people that watch this to learn is, don't give up on your dream. Do whatever it takes. And one thing that you've really underscored a couple of times is really just caring about others more than yourself.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing. I mean, that's biblical, right? Yeah. Love your neighbor as yourself.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of thing that I just want to just highlight. Like that is the secret to life right there.
I agree with you. I think that when you treat somebody the way they should be treated, in the way that he wants us to treat people, I believe that good things will happen to you. That's just my belief system.
And and at that point, no matter what happens, it doesn't matter, because you did the most important thing. And
I know in my heart that I did. Yeah. And that's all that matters. And I feel great about it.
Hey, if you and I end up camping tomorrow night down at Katy Trail again, I'll be all right.
Yeah.
As long as your wife brings us some sandwiches.
Yeah, man. You know what I mean? We'll be good to go. Some sandwiches.
Okay, so this is a little departure from where we're, our flow here.
Okay.
But I wanted you to tell everybody, because you race pro motocross. You were on Team Green, going around the country in the big tour bus with all your bikes and a mechanic, and you were the race rock star kid. And what's it like flying through the air, 130 feet on a dirt bike next to another guy that's trying to take you out?
Oh man, it's exhilarating. I will say there is a breed of us that a lot of people can't relate to, and I know you can because you've had similar experiences. It's just, I'll tell you this: if you were on a starting line, and you could see inside my helmet, you would think I was an absolute psychopath, because we got 40 riders on the gate, and we're all going to go into a spot where we all don't fit, and I'm smiling ear to ear. I am so excited about that. That is actually the most most dangerous part of the whole race is that start. And I just love flying. I just love cheating death. I guess I never use that word, but I guess that's it. I'm just an adrenaline junkie, I guess. And I'm addicted to it. I love it. But it's just a sense of accomplishment when you're weightless in the air. You worked hard to get off the ground, to do what you did perfectly, to time how fast that motorcycle needs to be going at the pitch that the face of the jump is and the distance of it is, and land perfectly on the landing. Just over the years of practice and being able to perfect that and just know the confidence of before you even get to it, you're going to land right where you need it. You're going to hit all your marks. And then sometimes, you'll be doing that exact same thing. You look over and you got your competitor next to you. Either he's pissed off or having fun with you, trying to pass you or just have a good time. It's just a blast. I just love floating through the air and taking what motocross call regripping on the drips. Relaxing your arms so you can make sure you don't get arm pump, and taking a deep breath in the air. That's where we take our breathers, is in the air for that a second to sometimes 3 seconds long in the air. That's a big jump, but yeah, just right back down to business.
How ironic, I love like when guys are in there, they're ripping their tear off, and now you're talking about let go and regrip.
I'll adjust my helmet, something, just kind of like relax.
It's so ironic to be taking a break while you're flying up at 30 feet off the ground.
Yeah, right. Now you say that it's crazy to do that, but that's where I feel most at home.
Well, see, I've raced since I was a teenager at Mosier Valley and Whitney and all that, and then I took a long break.
Heard about those places closed.
Well,
I love those places.
Well, now it's funny now that electric bikes are coming in, and inevitably electric bikes are going to take over.
I listened to the first start of one. I was so disappointed.
Yeah. Well, but the point is, Mosier Valley, a place in Arlington could actually be open now.
Yeah.
Because of electric bikes.
Correct.
So think about that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I raced amateur level teen years. It was crazy at cool places. And then I took a long break and I started racing again back in like 03 or 04. And people just, there's nothing like what you're talking about when you're on the start and you're going in the first turn with all these guys around you and there's all this noise and you're negotiating and there's people crowding around and you're competing at the same time. And then that first lap of trying to pass as many as you can, not crash, stay out of the way, people falling in front of you, you got to dodge them. There's no more beautiful intensity of competition as that first lap.
Oh, yeah. That is the most hectic part of the whole race is that first lap.
Yeah, and there's just like so much going on. You've got motocross incorporates
a lot.
The athleticism of gymnastics, the reading of a course like golf, or the motorsports of motor racing, the adrenaline, the badassness of football. It's got every sport wrapped up in that 30-minute moto.
Yeah, and you're controlling 5 controls all at once. So you know those 5 controls? So it's center, balance.
I thought you were talking about the brake, the shifter, and the...
Go ahead. That's exactly it.
Okay.
So you got your clutch, your brake, your front brake. You got your shifter, your rear brake, and then center of balance. All at once at unity at the same time constantly. And then you have all those things. That's 5 different things, okay? 5 things. Then you have everything you just said. You got to dodge people. You got to make sure you're going this direction and fighting the bike and gymnastics, being able to have great motor skills to be able to adapt to the situation of how the bike's reacting to the track and everything.
Well, what's the most amazing point, though, is when you are one with the bike, you're not thinking about anything but the guy that's right there, you're trying to get around him or the next obstacle. So once you're in that zone, and really that's the
like
essence.
The flow state.
Yeah, that's the essence of what makes it so cool.
Yeah.
And I've never ridden as fast as you, okay? I had a compound tib fib from doing a big whip on a triple, but it was an accidental whip. So if we had photographs of me right before the crash, it'd be
sweet,
killer, right? But, so that's why I went to soccer.
Okay.
Because there was a point in life where I had so much going on. My kids were racing.
Lower impact for sure.
I had like 4 or 5 clubs, and it's like I don't think I can race dirt bikes anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I say, I never was as fast as you or the guys that are just doing amazing things. Like if you look right now, I don't know if you saw the race with Eli, and now we're talking about pro motocross racing on TV, where Eli Tomac was racing with Sexton
This past
at
weekend?
Millville.
Oh, this weekend.
No, the Millville race.
Okay.
I saw them move to a next level of the way they were doing things.
They did that this past weekend too. It was nuts.
Yeah, I missed this one.
Sexton beat him by 17 seconds. I mean, they both took off, and they were like 20-something seconds in front of third place. It's just insane. They just took it to another level. So just like Millville, just
I'm most amazed how Sexton could be beating Tomac, though, because Tomac's always been the conditioned guy. He's
a
going to
tank.
catch you. He's going to beat you. But Sexton somehow upped his game, and
it's a mental game too, man. He's getting his confidence right now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get past Tomac because he's just been a leader for so long.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys in the industry, a lot of those pros and trainers and things
Grew up with them.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, we're going to get off motocross now.
Okay.
It's been good to really learn more of your story and what makes you tick, because you motivate a lot of people, and you're a guy that you're just one of those guys that you've got a plan. You live it. You walk the walk. You talk the talk. Well, anyway.
Walk the
What I'm
walk,
saying-
talk the talk.
What I'm saying, you're
Nailed it.
You're the real deal. You know what I mean? And so we've got to wind this down. We've only got so much tape. Isn't it funny how everybody talks about tape still?
I know.
Like I'm hearing guys that are getting paid on sports radio, and they're still like, "Well, I got to look at the tape." I'm like, "Dude,
No, it's not tape.
Are you talking about Scotch tape? Or you got some duct tape over there?" Anyway, we got digits. All right.
Yeah, we got digits.
So the thing is, here's a question I ask everybody.
Okay.
On the exit here,
Got it.
you've had this dynamic life, and you've only yet begun. I mean, you're a young buck here.
37.
You know what I mean? Well, I didn't ask.
Oh, I don't mind.
But that's okay.
37.
You're younger than I thought. I didn't know. I mean, I was thinking. I didn't even think about it. I usually nail people's. I can always guess people's age. I walk up to people anywhere and just know their age. I never even thought about your age. It's weird. So now we know, though.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I ask right as we're exiting the show. I do it with everybody, and I know you'll have great answers. What about God? The reason I ask that is we're all walking around on this spinning ball through space. We're breathing, and we've all got opinions, and everybody's got their thing, But there's this reality that at any minute it could all end. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what's your take on God?
My take on God. I was raised Methodist Christian, but I believe in the greater good, and I believe of treating someone else as if He would treat us. I pray every day, and I believe in the story, and I believe in everything in it. I do believe in an afterlife, and I make sure to treat people well. So I'm there to hang out with my ancestors and my parents. That's what I do. That's what I believe. That's all there is to my answer right there. Okay. Treat people nice. Don't be a dick. It's pretty simple.
Well, that comes from somewhere. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yep.
What I believe is God, the Creator, came in a body.
Okay.
And hugged the prostitutes, healed the lepers, and told the religious leaders they were a bunch of snakes. And then He laid down His life and died for us on a cross. His sinless blood as a lamb was slain, and it takes away the sin of everyone that claims Him. And He rose from the dead, and He's with us. He's overlooking everything and keeping us on track to get to Him. Mm-hmm. And so He said, love God with all your heart, love your neighbor as yourself. And that's what you learned growing up as a Methodist, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
So
I met him.
I was hard of hearing in those times, so I didn't really know what was going on in church. But I was there participating and learning, learning a lesson, whether I knew it or not.
Yeah, yeah. So when you were young and you were just feeling the vibe and reading lips mostly,
Yeah.
did you feel like church was a loving place?
Yeah, I did. As I was rolling under all the chairs and stuff. But yeah, I was, cause it was hard to keep me still in church. But yeah, the vibes were great. People were good. I still remember the families and stuff. I still remember having perfect attendance and having this huge award of years of never missed church. And I just, it was good people and it was great vibes. And so, yes, I do. I can say, yeah, it was great.
I'm glad to hear that because I know that the struggle in this society and on this planet is people confuse God and religion and church, and they're all different things.
Yeah.
Church is supposed to be a gathering of people that are called out to get to know God better, and religion is these other things. It's like there's so many words of confusion, and that's why it's a good moment for me to plug this book that you have to go and buy this book. It was years of struggles and seeking and questioning and yelling at God, and I came up with some answers in this book that I'd like you to read. I think there's some good things in here. It's out there, and this is my moment to plug our main sponsor, the Russell Hobbs book, Why? Lessons in God's Theme Park. And today, my brother, you have been a lesson bearer. You've gone through some stuff, and you brought some great answers out. I dig it because you're real and you're honest and you're humble and you love people.
I'm as blunt as they come.
Well, you're sharp. We could have a blunt contest. So I don't know. Maybe we're over time because I don't see a clock up there. But Turner, I love you. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And thanks for joining us today. Sayonara.